wonder how or why they decide to make a connection with the bearer of light from the other side. It's a self-centered new world reflection. It's a one-way ticket for one hell of a ride. They're making a deal. Whether down at the crossroads or Hollywood and Vine, they're making a deal. Gonna have it all for a moment in time. You may be a kingpin drug dealer who wants the competition out of the way. You may be an elite politician who wants total control and a power play. You may be an aspiring entertainer who wants to have their name in lights. You may be a four-star general who wants the upper hand in a global fight. They're all making a deal. With the chief light bearer from the other side, they're making a deal. It's an alternative thing for one hell of a ride.
If you would like to hear Night Dreams Talk Radio on your local radio station, let them know. Tell them to check out www.nightdreamstalkradio.com, and thank you. Do you have a paranormal story you want to share on Night Dreams Talk Radio? You could be a guest. Email us at nightdreamstalkradio@gmail.com.
Night Dreams Talk Radio Network brings you the World Paranormal News with James Creechbaum. Now, the latest news.
I'm James Creechbaum with the Paranormal and World Changes News. Well, according to a new report, if you are in a UFO group, you may be being watched. Yes, according to this new report, many people could be being watched if you're in a UFO group, so that's something new. Or is it? Also, the CIA has been reported to be simulating alien abductions and secret experiments. Don't know what that's about, but more on that to come. Also, the pilot who chased the UFO speaks out for the first time. He said that craft moved in uncanny, unphysical human ways. It definitely could not have been anybody in it that was flying these objects. He didn't know how to describe his actions of this craft that he filmed. Also, stunning footage of 11 UFOs moving around the sun. One UFO even does a full U-turn around the sun. Now, these UFOs, whatever they may be, would have to be huge. Some of them are so huge that they put the word mothership to a shame. Actually, I don't know what they are, but there's definitely very intriguing film of this. Also, whatever's going on in Vegas, one man, he has filmed what is described as stunning film video of a UFO. This unidentified object was in the sky near the Mountain Edge community. The guy says his adrenaline was running, and he took the video. Now, I know immediately that I've got something amazing here. And you can, the video is amazing. I got to tell you, I don't know what it is, but I don't know it's not a helicopter or a plane, that's for sure. Also, mysterious vanishing stars could be signs from aliens. Apparently, there's been a lot of stars that were there. Now they're not there. Now, some people think they could be aliens. Some people think that maybe they're just stars that burned out, and we're just now realizing it. Also, the human head transplant is predicted to be underway by 2030, claims a surgeon. Well, I don't know why you'd want your head transplanted, but one surgeon claims that surgery could be possible by 2030. Whoa. Also, state of emergency in Ecuador from a diesel spill on Galapagos. Thousands of gallons of diesel is spilled in the ocean. Next news break, top of the hour.
Good evening or morning, depending on your time zone. From the Pacific to the Atlantic to you worldwide. Get yourself a cup of java and find a comfy, easy chair. And get ready for Gary and his guest on Night Dreams Talk Radio. After Dark. And now, here's Gary.
And here I am. Who do you know who the guy was that in Las Vegas that filmed that UFO? Is that the guy that's going to be coming on our show?
Yes, it is.
Okay, well, tell everybody who he is. He's coming on our show.
That is Steve Barone, and he will be coming on our show, and he's got some amazing videos he's captured out there. And there's been a lot of sightings in that area, and he's been out. He's got some good stuff, and he's going to be on our show to talk about it.
Oh, yeah. I'm trying to find out when he's going to be on. I think it's coming up in January here, and...
yeah, it is.
Yeah, I got so many guests in here to try to find it. Yeah, he's going to be on January the 15th from 7 o'clock to 8:30.
Yeah, it's going to be good because he's, I'll tell you, in the last week, well, more than that, in the last couple of weeks, he's really filmed some serious UFO footage, and I've seen it. And again, it's not helicopters or planes. I don't know what they are, but some of that stuff is doing some crazy things out there in that video.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be rather interesting. Well, let's get our guest on here and give them a call. So hopefully they're there and we can get them on here on Night Dreams Talk Radio. That'll be Richard and Linda Smith. And they'll be talking about The Kings Are Here. It's about their newest book about UFOs. So let's see what happens here. And they're not answering. Okay, I think we got them online here. Hi, this is Gary on Night Dreams Talk Radio.
Hi, Gary.
Okay, you guys you're breaking up there a little bit.
Not sure why.
Well, you're coming in, but is Richard trying to talk at the same time? Because I hear you, but I hear some breaking up noise.
No, I'm right here with you.
Okay. Well, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourselves?
Okay.
Not the bad stuff, okay? The good stuff. Now, remember, we're not just on the internet. We're on radio stations across the country. So watch what you say, because if you got a warrant, they'll come and get you the first of the year. No, I'm joking.
No warrants here, thank God.
Okay.
We are both lifetime experiencers. I had my very first experience roughly around the age of 3 or 4. I just came to realize recently, looking at my parents' wedding photos, that there was a UFO right in their 8mm movie, which shocked me. Quite large, too.
Can I ask you a question? Linda,
sorry?
Linda, what did when you saw it in the 8mm film, which is kind of grainy on all 8mm? I got a whole bunch of them from when I was a little kid. But I got to ask you a question. What did it look like? How big was it? And the shape of it?
It was kind of a head-on type of shot. So for me, it looked like the traditional disc shape for back in the 60s, because it was 1962, the movie.
Uh-huh.
I had a friend of mine, she downloaded the 8mm clip from Facebook down to her computer and did a frame-by-frame still shot. And in each still shot, it looked completely different. Like it changed shape. It was very, very cool.
So it was like shape-shifting?
Kind of, sort of, yeah, but you couldn't see it when the movie was actually running.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, when they started taking it apart frame by frame, all of a sudden it looked like it was changing shape. And it was, and then we went back and looked at it like, how fast could this thing have been rotating through different shapes that the frames of the old style film from 62 couldn't pick up on it readily. But when you break it down frame by frame, all of a sudden you see this thing changing shape.
It was amazing to me because my sister and I had watched that 8mm films many times over the years, and I didn't realize that was there until just like 2 weeks ago.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was very interesting. My 4 children have had experiences pretty much their whole life. My 2 oldest are in their 30s now. My son, who's 29, lives here in Albuquerque with us. He still has had some sightings and experiences. And I, myself and my husband still have experiences. I mean, that's pretty much my history in a nutshell. I've been having experiences for about 53 years.
Now, have you ever been abducted? And either one of you?
Yeah.
Our entire lives, yeah. I've spent many times on a ship. My mother suggested back in 1994, 95 for me to start writing down everything that I could remember and everything that has happened since then. And I'm glad she did, because I was able to write a book about it. I remember a lot of things being on a ship, even as a kid with my sister, being in classrooms, being trained, interacting with beings that were totally different than me, but it seemed, and it still seems, so normal that it doesn't really faze me in a bad way. I don't have any memories of any bad experiences.
Interesting. Now, the reason why I'm going to ask you some questions here, and, you know, have you guys heard of Terry Lovelace?
No.
I don't think so.
Okay. You might, when you get a chance, Google Terry Lovelace. Another person, okay. Calvin Parker?
No.
No.
These are major people that have been abducted in the ufology out there. I mean, they are like some of the... Timothy Collin, by any chance. He was like the number, I think, 12th or 13th implant removal from the late Dr. Roger Lear.
Really? No.
Okay. I think I remember his name from a documentary. Yeah.
Yeah, he's been on several. Here's the thing. I'll just explain a little bit about Terry Lovelace, and then we can go into your thing, because I want the listeners, you know, to be able to make decisions, you know, either way. That's how we are on my show. You know, Terry Lovelace was a assistant attorney general, you know, for the United States. Back when he was in the Air Force, back in the early, or I'd say late 70s, him and his friend were medics in a hospital, and they decided they were going to go camping. So they went camping. It was the first time that Mr. Lovelace ever went camping in his life. And they thought they were camping on a state ground, you know, campground, but they evidently went the wrong direction and went on to federal land. And then during the night, they saw these triangle lights, and they were infatuated with it. And it got closer and closer and closer to the point they were starting to feel uncomfortable. And then the story goes, it landed like these childlike little creatures, small aliens came out. They were abducted. And the story, going through it really fast, he got the impression that these aliens, and there could be, you know, we're not, this like us, we in our country, and then you got all these different nationalities worldwide.
Yeah.
There's different nationalities of humanoids out there, I think. In his case, these weren't the friendly ones. These are the ones who were abducting people, experimenting with people. And he was lucky. Him and his friend got returned. But when the craft took off, a lot of humans were on that craft when it was taken off. Now, when he reported it back on the base, the guys in the black suits came out, investigated him. They gave him sodium pentothal, all this stuff. I mean, it's records of it. And he swears up and down that these aliens, at least his abductions, and he's had several since then, are not the friendly type with humans. Now, what is your... I take it you were interacting with these and they were friendly towards you.
Correct. My husband and I both have had only positive experiences, but I know that there's always going to be a bad group out there, just like humans here on Earth. There's always going to be a bad group. I haven't encountered any of that, thank God. Now, if you were to ask my sister about